The Prime Minister has arrived in China. Julia Gillard's plane touched down in Beijing a short time ago, where she was greeted by a Vice Premier. Ms Gillard is scheduled to hold talks with President Hu Jintao and Premier Wen Jiabao. Business links between the two countries will be high on the agenda, and the Prime Minister has already flagged she will be raising human rights issues with the Chinese government. Earlier, Julia Gillard marked her first Anzac Day as Prime Minister at a dawn service in Seoul, along with veterans of the Korean War. Sometimes called the Forgotten War, she says Australians should do more to remember it. Chief Political Correspondent Mark Simpkin reports.
At the coming up of the sun, they remembered them. More than 100,000 Australians have died on a battlefield.
Each of them one of us, each of them lost to us now. Each in essence an ordinary Australian who we asked to do an extraordinary thing.
Julia Gillard's the first Australian Prime Minister to commemorate Anzac Day in Korea. She paid particular tribute to the hundreds of Australians killed here.
Australians do remember them. Australians will remember them. We remember them with our silence, lest we forget.
Many Australians have forgotten the Korean War, and that's angered some of its veterans.
Bit of rum. It's Anzac Day.
They say it's about time their sacrifices were recognised.
To be here in this country at this time, for veterans that have served here, it's a very meaningful occasion.
The veterans aren't the only ones glad Julia Gillard's here. South Korea's president talked about the threat posed by North Korea, a day after the Prime Minister came face to face with the communist country.
It tested my skills at being able to stare at people. I hope I proved adequate for the test.
Julia Gillard isn't only trying to build closer defence ties with South Korea, she wants a free trade deal with Australia's third biggest export market. And privately, Australian officials are confident they'll get one by the end of the year.
An agreement between Korea and Australia is in the interests of both our nations. It's in Australia's interests, particularly in the interests of our agricultural sector.
That's for the future. Today's main focus is the past. Mark Simpkin, Laceline.